Thank you
For what, Shumai?
for wanting to be here with me.
Mm-hmm. Shuichi kept blushing. Did I say something to make my beloved this flustered? Well, I should get going, it's late, Shuichi said quickly, before he slowly walked to his dorm. We can walk together then, I yelled over to him as I walked next to him. I linked my arm with his before we started walking towards the dorm rooms. I could tell he was nervous. Is he feeling the same as I am right now? My chest is full of butterflies, and I'm trying my best not to blush right here next to him. That's probably not it. But if it is, I'm sure I'll figure it out sooner or later. Goodnight, Kokichi, he yelped before closing the door quickly behind him. I was taken aback by how he was acting, but didn't let it bother me too much. I made my way to my dorm, and it was already getting late. Days are just passing faster the longer I'm trapped here. Sadly, I haven't gotten any closer to getting out of here. Good night, Shuichi, I whispered as I closed my door behind me. I walked over to my whiteboard and looked at his picture pinned to the board. Trustworthy. I sighed and let my mind wander to what the motive could be. I think it's going to be as weird as the last motive. I'm just worried that it might expose my feelings for Shuichi. I try to hide them the best I can, but I still want him to be able to figure it out. That's why I always leave so many hints for him to find, to be able to piece this puzzle together. That's probably why Monokuma came up to me after I talked to Shuichi, and was probably blushing slightly before I was able to successfully suppress it. I bit my finger, feeling my nervousness kick in. What if it's worse than the last one? What if he finds out about me? What would he say? How would they all react to that? I asked, holding my hand to my forehead. I just wanted to know what he was planning. Well, I am not going to get any sleep tonight. After hours of freaking out and staring at the picture of Shuichi, I slapped my cheeks. That doesn't matter. I lay in my bed, trying my best to get some sort of rest, but seeing the situation we're in and knowing that there's probably going to be a new motive soon, this can't be good. I pulled the covers over me and let my eyes stare at the ceiling. There are no words to describe how silent it felt in my room. It was making my head and thoughts go crazy. I sighed and held a hand over my forehead. I shut my eyes closed and started counting up as high as I could before I eventually blacked out. I woke up before the morning announcement, just like I always do. I sighed and held a hand to my forehead. Another day. This is going to be hell. I went over to grab my uniform to change into. I changed as quickly as I could. Not that I needed to get somewhere. I just wanted to get changed so I could have a break. I mean a break before I have to go and get on with today. Knowing that I had to socialize with all of them and be able to keep this mask on all the time, it makes me sick. I mean, sure, I get to slip in my real self when I talk to Shuichi sometimes, but I get so nervous I immediately pull back. I know this makes him very confused and I feel kind of bad about it, but it's better to keep this up until the end to be able to beat this game. Ding dong, bing bong. The morning announcement sounded after I changed, and I was just left to sit on my bed. I was staring at the wall and was getting close to zoning out. Good morning, Ultimate. We have a new motive today. All of you need to go to the gym. Best to be there on time. Monokuma screeched before the monitor shut off like it always does. I groaned again and walked out of my room. People were already outside of their dorms. They must have been doing what I was doing, just sitting in my dorm. I mean, some of them anyway. Some of them look really tired. Especially Shuichi. I went over to Shuichi, wanting to tease him before Kaito was glued to his side. I quickly grabbed his hat, making him gasp after I stole it. Give that back, he gasped, grasping for his hat, but I kept moving it fast enough to keep it away from him. But I love seeing your beautiful face and eyes, Shumai. I teased and poked his cheek, making him blush more. Kokichi, he yelled, making me giggle a bit more at his stutter. He's absolutely amazing. He can be so confident one moment before becoming a panicked mess. I love it so much. All right, I'll give it back just because you are my favorite. I smiled at him before making my way to the gym. They were all walking behind me except for Gonta and Keyboy, who were standing in front of me. It was nice to be able to walk while hearing the small conversations of people around me, while I could just listen and observe them. "Oh, hello," Monofian said, cutting my thoughts off. She was standing with Monotaro beside her. I was confused. Why were they just here in front of us? Was the motive in the gym? "Sorry about this. We need to get you ready for Daddy," Monofian exclaimed, with tears coming down her face. I was about to ask what she was apologizing for, but right as I opened my mouth, I was hit in the back of my neck. I couldn't tell if it was by blunt force or by a needle, but I was out before I could look back.